Hey there, good afternoon, y'all. I'm Coach Veronica Marie, and I'm here to help you live a healthier and a happier life. Today, I'm going to do that by helping you understand a little bit about your subconscious. If you haven't been following my videos, I'll put a YouTube link so you can kind of look at what I'm talking about to get a fuller understanding of where I'm going today. On my last video, I talked about a very simplistic way of looking at yourself, your persona, your ego, your higher self, and your God self, right? I must put this disclaimer out here all the time. There are so many ways of looking at this, so many ways to explain it. Books, libraries, full of information, right? So I'm not claiming to be the one and only expert, but I am here to help you understand in a simplistic way so you can start doing things to help yourself evolve every single day. What is your subconscious? Because we hear these words thrown around all the time. Well, let me tell you what I'm talking about when I talk about your subconscious. I'm talking about the information, the energetics of your being that you're unaware of, but they affect everything you do, every way you feel, everything that you say. You have your whole being that is being run by subconscious processes. And the more you bring your subconscious to consciousness, to awareness, the more control you have over your life and the creation of it. There's a lot of things in your subconscious. Everything that you take in that you can't attend to goes in your subconscious mind. Things that you can't see go in. Things that you hear but you're not paying attention to go in. Interactions that you never resolved go in. Things from childhood go in. What are those things? So I'm going to break down the subconscious into three main parts. Again, the subconscious, it does not exist in this time-space reality. So even though I'm giving you these categories, I'm giving you the categories in order to teach you or educate you. However, these categories are not concrete, and you will not look at your subconscious and see these three categories. There could be 12 categories. There could be 40. I'm just going to talk about three. Your shadow, your opposite, and your power are all lodged in your subconscious. When I do nutritional coaching, most of the time I talk to clients and they automatically start telling me what they know already. I already know that we're not supposed to eat fried foods, and I already don't do this, and I already do this, and I'm aware. But what I tell them is it's usually not what you know that's the problem. It's what you don't know. Because everything that you know, let's say, is here, but everything you don't know that you know is back here. Okay, so it's usually not what you're not eating that's giving you the problem. It's usually what you are eating. Similarly, in spirituality or emotional wellness or mental wellness, it's not the stuff that you know already usually that's running the show. It's the things that are in your subconscious, which is beneath your consciousness, and you don't know it's going on. Okay, that's a big thing. When I talk to people and I tell them, you know, this is what I hear, this is what I see, they'll tell me, no, it's not. It's not like that. It's because you're not aware of it. It's in your subconscious. All right. So, hey to Marilyn, in your subconscious, yeah, it's what you don't know that you know. Absolutely. The stuff you learned way back. See, the mind is such that it can't take everything into your awareness all at one time, but it is a sponge, and it's taking in things that you don't know it's taking in. I'm here looking at you, and I think I'm only talking to you about this, but my subconscious mind is picking up things going on in my periphery, things that are going on upstairs. It's still processing through things that happened before I even got on the camera, you know? So this subconscious thing is cool, it's beautiful, a beautiful way to get to know yourself. But first you gotta admit that you just don't know. I just don't know. Yeah, a person may tell me something about myself and I may not realize it for years, okay? But I do understand that as I evolve, as I become safer within myself, as I begin to get more information, I go deeper inside myself, I grow, and then I can help you. So what's in your subconscious? I'm just going to give you three things that are in there for you to look at. Number one is your shadow. Your shadow self is the parts of yourself that could not be integrated in life. This could be good things, it could be bad things. It's just things that could not find a place. For example, and I had to catch myself doing this to my children. Children get really, really excited, right? They're flamboyant, they're animated. And as adults, because we're so bombarded with stress or whatever else going on, we can't really handle excitement energy. Plus, we don't get that excited as adults. So when that excitement energy comes in, we first act to quench it. So it's like, sit down, stop making all that noise, da 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 da, right? And so after a while, if you keep doing that to a child, the child will learn how to pull that energy inside. And pretty soon there'll be a person who is non-expressive of excitement. There's so many adults who do not know how to be excited. They feel uncomfortable with excitement because their excitement was quenched by adults around them, because those adults didn't know how to deal with excitement within themselves, because likely the same thing had been done to them. So that's part of your shadow that went down into your being. It's not gone. It's not that you used to be a very exciting person and now you're not. It's just that that excitement energy, you learned how to manage it, suppress it, and push it down into a part of your being so far that it's beyond your awareness, so you don't even know how to be excited anymore. That's part of your shadow self. Another part of your shadow self are taboo things. Like maybe you grew up and your parents didn't want you to masturbate and you got caught masturbating. So you felt so ashamed. So whatever you felt, until you decided to cope with that pain, the shame, by pushing it down in your being, right? So that you don't experience it anymore. Maybe you stopped masturbating altogether and you have some sexual difficulty. Whatever it was, it went into your shadow self. It's still part of you. It's just not integrated, right? Especially if you grew up in a religious system where all the do not do's come in. Don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, don't covet your neighbor's ass. Like, don't covet the donkey and their ass, okay? All right, let me stop. So all of that stuff that was the opposite of who you were, in order to live with feeling good about yourself or live a life feeling good about yourself, you had to suppress that down into a part of your being so that it wouldn't rise up anymore. Maybe you used to love, let's say, something you used to love so much. Maybe you used to love to dance. You used to love to dance and you couldn't wait to dance, but then somebody told you that you couldn't dance and they scoffed and they made a face at you and you decided you were not going to dance anymore. You pushed that into your shadow self. It became your shadow. When you dealt with adults and they didn't listen to you and you felt powerless, that feeling of powerlessness and inability to speak, you push that down into your shadow self or your subconscious, and so you give the right answers. That's me, right? I work through that every single day. I learned how to give the right answers to everybody and everything, regardless of how I felt. I learned how to look a certain way on my face, give the right answers so that they could leave me alone. Pretty soon that became a way of being. I had to get into my subconscious to get that out. Maybe when you were younger, people used to help you and then they would shame you because they helped you. And so you learned that you no longer want to receive help. So your vulnerability of receiving and worthiness, you push that down into your shadow self. All of that stuff is in there. How do you know it's in there? Because it comes up. It comes up when you're triggered. It comes up when you're alone, when you smell a certain smell. And you might think, oh, that's old stuff. That's the past. It doesn't exist anymore. It does exist inside of you. It doesn't exist in this time-space reality, but it does exist inside of you. And the way for you to work it out is to work through it, acknowledge it, look at it, go back and heal it. That's the inner child work that I do. Then you have your mirror self, which is really a part of your shadow self. Well, it could be and maybe not. But your mirror self is your opposite self. let's say you are generous and kind. Well, the opposite of that is selfish and mean and rude. That's in there too. And you have to explore not just the shadow, but your opposite to come into balance. Because some people are so patient until they never get impatient. They put up with things that they never need to put up with. They stay places longer than they need to stay. These people need to explore their opposite. Some people don't even know how to have fun anymore. There are so many people out there who, if you ask them what's fun to you, they will say, I don't know. What's funny to you, they'll say, I don't know. They need to look at their opposite and work to balance themselves in that area. And then finally, there's your what I like to call your empowered self or your power self. And in your power self, you are everything that you ever wanted to be in your wildest dreams. Everything. For example, you may look at a movie or an entertainer or a performer or something like that, and you're just wowed and enamored by this being. You know why? Because that's your power self. That's how you would be if you could come out of whatever you're in and be what you want to be in your wildest dreams. What stops your power self from operating is conditioning, the shadow, the mirror, not creating a life conducive to that. For example, I like to watch Vikings on the History Channel, and I haven't watched it in a long time because I don't really watch TV. But when I have watched it, there's a character on there. Her name is Lagertha, and she is a shield maiden, and she is just the epitome of everything to me in that show. Well, Lagertha is my power self. She's strong. She's a warrior goddess. She's sexy. She's nurturing. She's a queen. She's wise. She has this energy where people just want to be around her and serve her and support her. And she's generous and she gives. And that's the epitome of who I am. That's my power self. When I look at Beyonce on the stage, I am wowed by that woman. Not only just her body, but the way that she has mastered her movements, the way that she remembers the choreography, the creativity that comes through in her shows. That's my power self, right? So if you want to know what's in your subconscious, your shadow is there, your opposite is there, your power self is there. If you want to evolve and become a higher version of yourself, then you got to only not get into your persona, not only get into your persona, which is this mask here, or your ego, which is how you learn how to move about in the world, but you need to know the subcategories of the ego, which is your subconscious. And again, your subconscious is the part of you or the parts of you that you're unaware of. You might have a conversation with a person and they may say, you're living in fear. You'll say, no, I'm not. You know, I've done that before. And when I coach people, if I bring up the word fear, they get triggered fast. And they're like, no, I wouldn't say I'm afraid. I wouldn't say that. But what would you say? I would just say I don't like. You are afraid. You are in fear. And that's okay because fear is a human emotion. Fear is nothing to be denied, avoided, or shamed. Fear is information. When I feel fear inside of me, I immediately begin to look inside to see what myself is trying to tell me. Sometimes it's a healed part of myself that needs some help. Sometimes it's my higher self saying, wait a minute, I want you to look from this angle too before you go forward. Fear is a tool. It doesn't feel good because of the stories that we tell around fear, and I'll talk about fear later. But if you want to evolve, you got to look at all those subconscious processes. My name is Coach Veronica Marie, and I'm here to help you live a healthier and a happier life. I do that by offering you good nutritional coaching, fitness classes, coaching, and training. And I offer you emotional and spiritual information. I want you to ascend. I want you to evolve. I want to have good conversations with you. A lot of people are wondering about healing and they don't know where to start. And they don't want to do one-on-one. Right? I understand why people don't want to do one-on-one. It's scary. You want to just get to the point, right? But you can't just get to the point because, like I just told you, it's all this stuff that you don't know that you know that's running your show. And so you need somebody to help you move through it. I have people to help me move through it. And I want to help y'all. If you are serious about understanding yourself in a deeper way, I'm going to open my inner healing training. All right, it's not the coach training, it's the self-training. I'm going to open that through a Facebook group. It's informal. I'm going to be in there giving you talks just like this on a consistent basis. I'm going to bring you through a process and help you work through one issue that's really bothering you. I think it's going to take about 5 to 6 weeks, maybe 7 weeks. And it's going to be pay what you have. So whatever you have, you can pay for the whole 5 or 6 weeks. You could pay per week. Maybe you have $5 this week. Maybe you have $100 this week. Whatever you have, I'm willing to exchange with you. It's an exchange, and I enjoy exchanging because that's part of the law of giving, receiving, right? Okay, y'all have a beautiful day. Let me know how I can help you. I'm here for you. I want to talk about this. I love talking about this. It's what I love, but also it's what we need. That's why I love talking about it. Okay, we'll talk soon. Bye now.